So the second one I want to go on to is touch points. Does everybody understand what touch points means? Okay, so this touch point process basically means how many times do I touch a lead before I can qualify it into a potential opportunity, okay? So for example, how many calls am I doing over a period of time? How many emails and how many SMS messages, if you want to use that platform as well, are going out on a consistent basis? Now, staying with the consistent one, we'll use Touch Financial. We implemented their structure. We then looked at their touch point process. Now, what we quickly found is actually no one really understands what a touch point process is. We've been in hundreds of businesses over the last year, and I would say 90% of people tell me they don't have a touch point process in place. So what we quickly found is there is no touch point process. Every lead was getting handled differently. Some leads might get 5 calls, some leads might get 10 calls, some leads were actually just disappearing into the CRM and never getting a call. So what we need to look at is how we effectively implement a touchpoint process. So what I've done here is we looked at their unable to contact rate. 50% of their leads coming into their CRM were being closed for unable to contact. 50% of their inbound leads were being closed for unable to contact. Now, it doesn't take a genius to work out there's a problem with their contact rate. So my team worked out that they were spending £60,000 a month on lead generation costs that was simply being poured down the drain because they weren't effectively touching them leads in the right way. So what we did, well, first of all, we looked at historic data and looked at how many times on average did it take to get hold of that lead. We combined that with our experience within the financial sector, and we tested 2 or 3 different strategies to come up with the winning strategy. Afterwards, they're currently operating at a 10% unable to contact rate, previously 50%. So they're saving themselves £36,000 on a monthly basis now that is going into their pipeline rather than out by just effectively touching the leads in the right way. It sounds so simple, yet so many sales teams fail to do it. So what did that touchpoint process look like for Touch Financial? Okay, so first of all, we've done a 7 working day time frame. Now, of course, for you guys, you can do 5 days, you can do 7 days, you can do 10 days. It's totally up to you, depending on your business. We started with a 7 working day strategy. Well, first of all, every lead had a minimum of 3 calls a day. Typically, it'd be morning, afternoon, evening. We'd make sure they get a minimum of 2 emails over that 7 days and at least 1 SMS. Now, those of you who don't like admin, of course, typically via a CRM, we can automate the emails and the SMS. All you guys need to do is correlate your calling times with your structure that you've already put in place to make sure you're effectively touching the leads in the right way. So what I want you to think about right now is, do you have a touchpoint process in place? And if I asked you today, what is your average touchpoint process to get hold of a lead? Do you know the answer? Because unfortunately, working with a lot of clients within this industry, they simply don't know.